Today our topic is exponents. So our essential question is, how can I use order of operations to evaluate expressions with exponents? Alright, so the first thing we need to talk about is our vocabulary. So the base is the number being multiplied, and the exponent shows how many times the base is being used, and you can see that demonstrated over here in this example. The base is the big number, that's 3, so it's the number being multiplied, and the exponent tells us how many times it's being multiplied. So if you count out, we have 4 3's being multiplied together. Alright, so we have practice here. Write using exponents. So the number being multiplied is your base, it's your big number. And how many of them do we have? We have 3, so our exponent is going to be 3. So that's 8 to the 3rd power. Here, the base is that big number, which is 6. And we count out how many 6's we have. We have 5 6's, so it's 6 to the 5th power. Now here, we have 2 different bases. We have 3 and D. There are 2 3's, so it's 3 to the 2nd power, and there are 2 D's, so it is D to the 2nd power. And then here in the last one, we have A's. You gotta kind of look all through the problem. So we have the base of A, and there's 1, 2, 3 A's, so it's A to the 3rd power. And then here we have 2 B's, so it would be B to the 2nd power. Evaluate. Right here we have 5 to the 3rd power, which means 5 times 5 times 5. Well, 5 times 5 right here is 25, times another 5 is 125. Six to the 4th power. That means we have 4 6's being multiplied together. So it'd be 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Now that's a lot of multiplying, so why don't we go ahead and use our calculator. Alright, so we can do 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, and we get 1,296. Four to the 1st power is just 1 4, which is just 4. 12 to the 0 power. Now this can be a little confusing, but 12 to the 0 power is going to be 1. Anything to the 0 power just means it's going to be 1. Alright, now this is a little bit of review, but we're going to add in the exponents piece. So if you guys remember at the beginning of the year talking about Pemdas, so our Pemdas is going to be P, E, M, D, and A, S. Okay, so the first thing we do is evaluate inside the parentheses. Remember, parentheses look like that. So that's the first thing we do. Then we do the exponents. That's what the E stands for, the exponents, the little baby numbers. Then we multiply and divide from left to right. That's super important. Then we add and subtract from left to right. So evaluate using order of operations. First off, we need to follow step 1, which is evaluate inside the parentheses, but we don't have any parentheses. So if in our Pemdas, we don't need to do P. E, exponents. Do we have exponents? Yes. We have 5 to the 2nd power and 2 to the 3rd power. So we need to evaluate those. Now, if we struggle with exponents, we can always check with our calculator. So we have 5 to the second power is 5 times 5. So we have 5 times 5 equals 25. So right here, we can put 25, bring down the plus 4, bring down the times, but then we do need to evaluate that 2 to the third power. So if we pull back up our calculator, we can do 2 to the third power, which means 3 2's being multiplied together. So we're going to do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So 2 to the third power is 8. Right there. So now we did the exponents. Check mark. Do we have any multiplying or dividing? Yes, we have multiplication right there where that dot is. So we have to do 4 times 8, which is 32. Bring down the plus, bring down the 25. So we did multiply and divide. Now the last thing we need to do is add and subtract. So do 25 plus 32, and we should get 57. All right, and then the last problem. We'll write out our PEMDAS. Do we need to do parentheses? Yes, we do. We have parentheses right here, which is 2 plus 4, which is 6. But please note that there is a 2 outside the parentheses, which means we need to keep the number in parentheses, put the little baby 2, bring down the 3, minus 3 to the second power. Now remember that a number next to parentheses means multiply. Okay? So we took care of the parentheses. Now it's time for exponents. We do have 2 exponents. We have 6 squared and 3 squared. 6 squared means 6 times 6, which equals 36. So we have 3 times 36 minus 3 squared. 3 squared means 3 times 3, which equals 9. So we bring down the 9. Check mark for the exponents. Now we need to multiply and divide. Do we have multiplication or division? Yes, we do. Right here, we have 3 times 36, which is 108. Bring down the minus 9. Did the multiplication and division. Lastly, we just need to do the addition and subtraction. So do 108 minus 9, and we get 99. Use all those order of operations, and you'll get to the correct answer.